Hello and good Monday evening, everyone. Thanks again for joining me for another session of Make It With Me Monday. Every Monday here at 6:30 p.m. Central, we gather together and make a card. I post the instructions on my Facebook page, which you can find right here, and so that you have everything cut and ready to go if you want to do it live with me. You can always go back and watch this later, catch up on any of the ones that you've missed on my YouTube channel, all that great stuff. All right, just a quick reminder that celebration is almost over. We have just about a week or so left to the end of August here. If you want to get any of these great things for free with your $50 or $100 order, there's some really great items in this little mini catalog. And then as well, there were some bonus items that posted that you can get in addition, and you can find that link. I'll make sure it's somewhere on the Facebook page for you guys to see quite easily. Okay, so we're going to get started tonight. This one is really quick and simple. I'm going to show you what I'm using tonight first. I did an event this weekend with a couple of my fellow demonstrators, and this is the suite of products I presented. So, hi Aunt Mary, good to see you tonight. This is the suite of products I presented live. I'm going to be using the Splendid Thoughts stamp set just for my phrase. You only need to have a phrase for your little neutral piece. And then I'm going to show you the Splendid Day Designer Series paper. Now on one side, there are some beautiful shiny metallic pages. So sorry for all the glare. This one kind of has a Sahara sand background, but if you pair it with different things, it'll change colors a little bit. I've used it with silver, for example. Hey, Kathy Jo, good to see you. This one is a pool party with some little white that's raised up. You can feel those elements there, and they're super, super shiny. This one is copper based. This one is fresh freesia based. Look at that one. And then these two last pages are really kind of cool. I'm gonna try to get it where it doesn't glare too much. If you go ahead and just cut that right down the middle and then cut the pieces this way, you end up with something that can take up just your entire card front. So basically, bing, bang, boom, your card is pretty much done. You just have to add a little phrase or embellishment or something. So those are really fun to play with. And then the back sides are some beautiful prints in those same colors again. So you've got Sahara Sand, Pool Party, soft seafoam, calypso coral, and petal pink. So really pretty soft color palette. And then if you are any kind of fan of metallic and shiny, you definitely want to add this one into your repertoire. Love, 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 love my Splendid Day DSP. Alrighty, so here is what you needed to have handy tonight. You're going to have a piece of cardstock that's 4 1/4 by 11. So we're going to make a vertical looking one tonight. Score it at 5 1/2. I'm going to be using thick basic white for my base. Then you needed another piece of cardstock that's 3 1/8 by 4 3/8. Mine is going to be Sahara Sand. And a piece of cardstock, another one, 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. I'm going to be using basic black. Then you needed a piece of Designer Series paper, and again, mine's coming from that Splendid Day. It's 3 by 4 1/4. We're going to use it vertically. So if you have something that is definitely directionally orientated, make sure you're using it the tall way, I guess, for lack of a better term. And then you need a neutral piece that's 1 by 2 1/2, and that's just something you can put a phrase on. So have a phrase handy if you want, or else save that off to the side till you know what kind of card you want to make, and you can always add it to it later. Alrighty, so like I said, this one's going to be super simple and quick to get together. You're just going to take your card base, and we're going to give that a nice burnish with our bone folders to give that crease a good one. Then grab that 1 1/2 by 4 1/4 piece. Mine is basic black, like I said. I'll put it off to the side here because otherwise it won't show up very well on my black background here. All right, we're going to lay this horizontally about halfway down our card base, like so. That's funny, it looks like it's striped out because of the way I have my, I'll set that over here a little bit more. There we go. Now you're going to take your 3 by 4 1/4 DSP, and you're going to mount it onto the 3 1/8 by 4 3/8 piece of cardstock that you used. Okay. Now, if you have them handy and you like a little bit of dimension, let's go ahead and grab those dimensionals now. For something this large, I like to make sure there's at least one large one in the middle, so that you're we don't like a saggy middle, right? If you have a larger piece like that, it might tend to dip down in the middle or something like that. So I like to have a little bit of support in there, and then I like one of our little ones in the corners. Okay, so if you have dimensionals and you want to use those, get those on there, and then If not, we're just going to adhere it right directly down, and I'll show you just a second. It's basically just going to go centered on the front of the card, like so, okay? I'm going to pull it a little closer to me off camera just to make sure I get it centered as I'm looking at it. Okay. And I'm going to grab one of these here for a second so you can see it a little better. There we go. All right, so there is your pretty much your basic completed card base. So you put your DSP on one layer, you have another layer as an accent color back here, and you have your card base. And again, we bumped that up with some dimensionals. And now you can just go ahead and find your neutral piece, and you're gonna stamp your phrase on that. And again, mine's gonna come from Splendid Thoughts. And my idea is that I'm turning this into a wedding card. Have to attend a wedding in another month or so. And so my phrase is gonna say, today is a day to remember. And then we'll have a congratulatory message for the inside. Okay, just gonna get that on there. Ooh, and I actually got it pretty straight considering I was hiding in the corner there. Alrighty, now if you just tape this piece down directly, just go ahead and run some tape across this, and we're gonna put it into the space here, which I'll show you in a second. If yours is popped up on dimensionals, you're gonna wanna add a dimensional to the right edge, and then just regular adhesive on the left edge, because this part is raised. You're gonna want the corner or the edge of this piece we're adding on top to also be that same height, so it doesn't sink down or look silly when we put it back on. Okay, so I have one dimensional on the right, and I have just regular adhesive on the left. Go ahead and take that off. Now, when I put this in, basically I'm using this space here as my guide, and I'm just gonna put it in so it looks centered, kind of even bordered all the way around, okay? So your dimensional is sticking on this side, and your regular adhesive is going right there. All right, so that is your basic layout for tonight. I have some other samples to share with you too, if you wanted to get, you still need to get caught up a little bit on how that's going there. This one here is, again, using some of the DSP from the Splendid Day. And I've used that Seafoam Pool Party combination. This particular shaded one right here kind of goes in between the two. So I have Pool Party base, I have shaded or soft seafoam here, and I use Pool Party ink, and I use white as my divider there to make that pop out a little bit. All right, this one, if you've been watching the last couple weeks, you know I just can't stop using my Hues of Happiness DSP. I'm loving all the florals in here. So this one is Hues of Happiness with Flirty Flamingo, Melon Mambo, and Granny Apple Green. And then this, I'll have all the listings of what I used will be on the photos when they get posted, so you can look up what stamp sets I used, etc. All right, here again, this one also comes from Hues of Happiness. It's just one of the opposite sides. So most of them on one side are kind of like a white base with floral images, and then the other side are a little bit darker, smaller, that kind of thing. And this one has like basically a rainbow of colors in it. Look at all those. There's just a ton of different colors that this can go with, and no matter what, depending on what you use, you'll get a completely different look. So I picked up the navy background, and then this is, I actually use So Saffron. It is actually daffodil and mango in here, but when I laid those two together on here, they just look too bright. So I toned down my yellow a little bit with saffron, and I have, oh, I forgot which one I have back here. Coastal Cabana or Balmy Blue. I'll look it up when I write down the, nope, it's Pool Party, isn't it? Yep, it's Pool Party. Pool Party back there, and then navy card base, of course. This one comes from the Rustic Harvest collection that's in the mini catalog. So this, I use the black as my card base. This is Mossy Meadow and Cajun Craze. And then I took that piece that's behind there, and I used the new Falling Leaves embossing folder on it. So it has just a little bit of texture and dimension on that piece that hides back here. Okay, then I'm going to show you the stepped up version of this one. I did a little bit different, so the directions are a little bit different for this one. All the cutting dimensions are the same except for this piece here. I wanted to use a different phrase and have it have a little bit of a different look. So it's a little bit larger piece, and I also went with a black instead of a neutral color on that one. So as you can see, this one I used black and silver, and it's the same piece of cardstock, or same piece of designer series paper, but the silver and black pulls out the more silvery tone of this one, whereas when I use the Sahara, you see that that looks a little more brownish. So like I said, these are the exact same pieces of designer series paper, but they look a little different because I've mixed up the colors that are with them, and it pulls out a different look. So This one I took the phrase comes from the same stamp set. It comes from that Splendid Thoughts. I embossed it in silver embossing powder, and I used one of our new trio punches to cut the edges at an angle, so it kind of looks a little bit more like a tag. And I used some silver cord and some silver pearls to finish that off a little bit with, just like I said, little pops of silver and black. Super elegant and very pretty, and I'm hoping that our brides and grooms will enjoy those when it comes time to give them out at their weddings. All right, so there are those two. Let me bring these guys back in. I think you can still see most of it. I can cover up my info for a second here. You all know where I am. All right, so there you go, everybody. That is our layout for tonight. And like I said, each one has a little bit of a different feel depending on what you've used for your DSP, what kind of occasion you're looking for. You got so elegant, you've got a nice fall looking set, and then springy colors, just fun and happy. All kinds of great things that you can do with this and use up some of your larger pieces of your designer series papers. All right, everybody, thank you so much for joining me for another Make It With Me Monday. And I look forward to seeing you again next Monday night. Everybody take care and have a great week. Bye now.